Well, welcome everyone to the February 17th, 2022 Helm developer call. And we've got ourselves a little small group here to go through everything today. We'll start off with announcements, discussion, and then get into assignments. So the first announcement, Bridget, I see you've got an announcement coming up here. And so I'll pass it to you.
It's just the same reminder as always. 381 bug fix release coming up to be released March 9th. That means adding items to the 381 milestone on GitHub now and possibly working the items in the milestone. So if you're on this call and you're thinking, gosh, I really wish I could find a way to do things in the Helm project, taking a look at those things in that milestone and seeing if, hey, somebody put in a fix. If I try that fix, does it fix the problem for me? That sort of thing would be input comments on the issue or on the pull request saying, yeah, this worked for me, or that's one way to jump in and get involved. Back to you, Farina.
All right. So with that, we'll move on to discussion. And the first discussion topic is on the Helm plugin map cube APIs. And for that, Mark, I'll pass it to you because this is your item.
Thank you very much. I'm actually going to jump back to the announcement and mention that we have, I think, 5 needs pick PRs. One is from me, I realized, so I'm gonna go pick it. I couldn't do it before because the 3.8 release wasn't cut yet, but the other 4 are from Martin. So Martin, we haven't seen in a while because of scheduling issues, but we should probably talk to him about the new process of picking himself. One question is that one of the needs pick is about using the new linter, revive instead of golint. I wonder if that should be in a release, in a maintenance release, because it's kind of, or yeah, I don't know. Is it worth picking in a release? Has no impact on the product itself.
I don't know, since it has no impact on it. I don't know that I see a need for it. But at the same time, is that one of those things that we should do? Yeah, I haven't thought about it. Anybody else have thoughts on it?
It does come with code changes because of the new linters recommendations.
If it comes with code changes, I would hold off of them and just leave them on main and not pick that one.
Yeah, I can go there and mention that and just remove the needs pick label.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds great.
All right. So the map cube APIs, again, I think Martin is our expert for that, but maybe somebody can guide me a little bit. Anybody familiar with the plugin or not at all?
Yes, I am.
You are? Okay. I didn't want to single you out, but that was fingers crossed. So the plugin basically tells Helm to modify the version of an API within its manifest to react when Kubernetes has removed such a version. Sometimes, so in Kubernetes 122, which is the one I'm working on migrating to, the API version that's removed comes also with an actual content change. So they change some of the fields and stuff like that. The MapCube API plugin doesn't do that, doesn't handle any of the changes. It just changes the version. And I was wondering if, from a Helm perspective, we don't care because the use case is, we've upgraded, the API version is not there anymore. We just tell Helm change it and be ready for the next upgrade, or could there be an issue there where the manifest content doesn't match the manifest API version?
So we will run into a problem if it's a core API because we do the 3-way merge, right? We look at what we've got, we look at the actual, and we look at these different things. And if the content's changed and we just change the API version, then when you go to do that 3-way merge patch, that thing that isn't right may get merged in. I don't actually know if it will, but it may accidentally get merged into the change and then cause problems. So that's something we should probably test. And so it may not hold up in that situation. And it may be something that the plugin should do more to help with.
So in the lines of that, if it turns out, because I've done a bit of testing, I didn't hit anything,
Yeah.
but I didn't understand the issue clear enough to know if I covered, the scenarios. kubectl has a convert plugin, which you can tell it convert my current API format to the new one. So we
Yeah.
could hook into that to, not have to rewrite the whole logic if we wanted to actually change contents.
Ooh, I like that.
So it's anyway something to discuss, I guess. But this upcoming upgrades, maybe some people have already done it, but since the content of the removed ingress API has changed, it's going to hit people if it hasn't already, unless there's no issue, right?
Yeah, and if we've got a nice, elegant way to handle that, I like it. And if we can hook into their conversion technology in order to just cleanly convert it, that would be useful as well. Because we want, and it's the 3-way merge patch is the one where I would be worried in how it handled that upgrade. So
okay, should I open an issue in the
I would open an
the
issue
repo?
and maybe even ping Martin on it as well with what you're thinking.
Yeah,
because he knows that code better than anyone, and he's got a conflict with this meeting time. So I might ping him when I get him in Slack or something like that. He's usually pretty responsive in our morning anyway. And so I would try hitting him up and file an issue first and give the details. But I like where you're thinking with this of using the convert plugin for kubectl and maybe being able to import that and use it. That may help us.
Great. Thank you, Matt. That's it for me, Karen. No, not Karen. Oh, you're the moderator, Matt. So
I am.
go ahead.
All right. So with that, doesn't look like we've got Scott on the line, and he wanted to talk about blog posts. Since I've been chatting with him about these blog posts and helping him with these, I guess I'll take this one up just to let you all know what's going on. We're looking at some blog posts for the Helm blog. The first one is discussing the OCI stuff that's come out, and I'm not sure where it's at. We've iterated through some different drafts, and I'll need to connect with Scott to see when that'll be ready for publication. But we've been iterating on some drafts just to announce and share what's going on with OCI. And then the next one we've been looking at is tools you can use to manage your Helm releases, right? So one of the things, and I don't know how much of this ends up being insider knowledge, is Helm is a package manager. So if you want to have all that logic to manage your stuff around it, there's other tools, right? It's like the reason apt and yum and those tools don't encapsulate what Ansible or Chef or Puppet do. It's separate concerns. And there's a lot of people who ask, well, I want Helm to do this other thing, and the separation of concerns isn't there. And so it got into some stuff on GitOps and tooling, and it's kind of morphing into a blog post to kind of talk about, here's the space, here's where Helm's concern is and why it doesn't do everything else. And here are some tools you can look at. And we first start by looking at other CNCF projects. And we're trying to get into some of that to kind of explain, here's kind of how that space works. And we're trying to cover the project. So if somebody has a project like that, and we've already grabbed things like Argo and Helm file and obviously Flex with Scott in there. And if you've got your own pet project that should be in there, a project of that should be included in that list, go ahead and let me know. But we're trying to craft something that explains that situation and points people into directions they can go look at without kind of blessing any particular tool, because all of these methodologies and tools, well, it's not Helm's concern. So if they want to use it, we're very happy for that to be used. And so those other tools can get into a fight over the right tool and methodology. And Helm, we're just happy to be a package manager you can use. And I know Scott has some more stuff he wants to do on GitOps and Helm, and we haven't gotten to that stuff yet to discuss it, but that's another area he wants to get into. So that's kind of what's going on with the post. Any thoughts or questions?
Yes, Farina, I'm very excited about these posts, and I hope they come out in 10 seconds flat, because I literally wrote up a nice long email to a colleague from another department asking basically the why can't Helm be a floor wax and a dessert topping question? And I was like, you should look at, Porter, you should look at Argo, you should look at this, that, and the other for
Yeah.
the stuff that I
Yeah.
forget exactly which tools I pointed them to, but point being, like, I think a lot of people think Helm is my everything Swiss Army knife. And Helm can do a lot of things, but there are so many other tools that it would be great if we had some blog posts where Helm says, did you know?
Yeah. So we're working on those right now. I need to tie off with Scott again. So if folks want to get involved with this or have feedback, more than happy to listen.
I'd be happy to read a draft just because I've seen a lot of this kind of question come in.
Sure. Bridget, I will tie off with you on the two things that we've got right now. So you can take a look. All right. So that's that one. Then the next one up we have is Bridget. You're asking us about this HIP that you keep asking about every week.
I ask about it every week because I get 2 to 6 questions every week for like the last month about it. So I figure, I think the next step is for the HIP to become approved. And then I can tell the people who keep telling me that they want things that pull requests will be considered. But first, I think we have to get the HIP approved. So I'm wondering, is there something prescriptive that you would recommend, Mark, Farina, Joe, in order to help us, get that HIP approved? Look,
yes.
it's Dr. Butcher.
I've got something very prescriptive for you to do. Corner us like Matt and myself and some of these folks there and get us to go review it. And
Awesome.
Because I've been a little bit busy in the last couple of weeks. I have the open tab for this and I've had the continued open tab on my to-do list to go review it. But somehow on the TOC side, I've noticed that as soon as the new TOC came in, all these projects to review and voting on happened. It's like the TOC, as they were coming into the election, decided we're going to punt this to the next group or something. I don't know. And so I have read so many more things lately than I had expected as far as we've been busy. So that's my excuse. But it is an open tab and I'm going to try to get to it by the end of the day. Monday is my goal.
I like this. I will say early next week when I'm done with all of the exciting internal planning process, which is every bit as exciting as you might imagine. But when I'm done with the work that I have that's unrelated to Helm, by next week, I will just bug you and Dr. Butcher and anyone else who weighed in on that HIP, because I feel like the people I keep saying, sure, we'll take your pull request, please work on this, except we can't tell you what to work on yet because we're still defining it. And then they say, so can we start working on it? And I say, I love the fact that you want to work on it. I don't know.
So this one doesn't need a whole lot of pull requests other than the docs, right?
Sure.
And people building tools. So Matt, if you could go take a quick look at this, you were late. And so for being late, this is your punishment. If you could go take a look at this. The real simple thing here is this is about adding an annotation that we define that lets you specify all of the images in your chart, and then tools and stuff know and can all have a common annotation. And it's a namespace annotation. And that's all it's about. So it should be pretty easy.
Absolutely. Love it. Okay. That is what I had for that one. And then Mr. Julian, you said in the, this is related to the blog posts. You mentioned that you have a lot of experience with one of the blog post topics. Did you want to expand on that?
I just want to be included because this is what we do.
Yes, it is. And by the way, which projects is it that you all want to be seen included in that?
We've worked with of course we're working with Flux actively. That's the one we're going with. So
okay,
Scott has more probably more chops on that than us on that, but we're still right up there. And then we've also used I'm drawing a blank, the other one.
Argo.
Argo.
Maybe Orchestra. There's a few other ones out there.
Argo was the other one that's mentioned that we did. We also had our own, but unfortunately it's never been open sourced.
And then there was, I'm forgetting the other one. There was another one that was built on top of Helm, and I'm forgetting the name of it right now. Kudo.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, not really, but I guess it's sort of built on top of it. But yeah, that's another one that.
Yeah.
We could talk to. But yeah, I was just mostly just to get you to include me in your discussions.
Sure. I will get you looped in. I'll put it on my to-do list here.
Thanks.
All right. And so coming back to our agenda here, the next thing we have is also for you, Bridget, about good first issues.
Oh, yes. So this is actually kind of a Martin topic. He brought up, Martin brought up in the maintainer chat, the need to be able to give a nice link to a person who was interested in starting to contribute. And I fortunately was able to give him a current curated good first issue link from the www repo of some doc updates that I thought, oh, well, these doc updates sound good, but someone needs to go test them and make sure that they're accurate. And then I thought, we really should, if we took every maintainer, glanced at the issues and picked one or two and said, this is pretty easy and marked a good first issue. If every maintainer did that, then we would, with just some of the, like the most, 50, 100 most recent issues, we'd probably have a very useful list to give to people who want to weigh in. And yes, I know you might have to read 4 or 5 to find one good first issue, but I bet it would be possible. So that's my call to action there. Is if we crowdsource this to the maintainers, it might not take infinity time.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you. Well, that's the end of our discussion section. Did anybody have anything else they wanted to add in at this point? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, which means we can do assignments. And Joe, it looks like you've already signed up for triage. Thank you. Thank you. We are looking then for moderator and notes. Is there anybody available to do moderator and notes? And I believe I'm unavailable next week, so I will not be able to take either of those.
I can moderate.
Wonderful. And I think Karina said in the maintainer chat that she could do notes. So I think we're covered. Thank you.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then thank you all for coming and have a wonderful rest of your week until we see each other on a meeting again. Bye.